y caballeros, bienvenidos, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Life in Zero Gravity, Vida in Zero Gravity. Let's hope that we don't have any issues this week. It's given me issues in the past when I try to record on this platform, but I like this platform. Shout out to the platform. I should give them some. It's Veed.io, which Jazzy would probably get a kick out of. It's like video, right? It's kind of funny, but yeah, I want to get into it. I honestly have a lot to talk about this week, but I don't want to do more work than I have to. So I'm hoping to do my usual hour. I'm hoping it won't be longer than that, just because it's been a long week. And actually, just yesterday was really emotionally draining, which I will get to later. Um, Congrats, you drained my emotions again. Probably one last time. I don't see it happening again, but we'll get into that later. Who saw a ghost? Somebody saw a ghost. I had another name for this, but I just thought it was too on the nose. I'll tell you later. I'm teasing a lot right now. Big tease in the house. But yes, first off, on a more positive, kind of fun, lighthearted note, I saw a lot of movies this week. I had a lot of downtime, more than usual, at least. Still not a lot, probably still less than most people have, but more than usual for me. So I got into some movies. First off, I should mention I saw Avatar: The Way of Water. Finally saw it. Not a bad movie. Not bad. Was it the best movie I've ever seen? No. Was it even close? No. Decent movie. Um, One thing is, on a positive side, I'd like to say that like when you see the trailers on TV and stuff, and on the computer, like the effects look good. I didn't think they looked like anything that crazy, where it was like, oh, this is, I have to see this. I didn't think that it looked like that crazy, you know. But when you actually see it, I saw it in 3D because I was like, okay, this probably the one way it's worth it. James Cameron scammed me into seeing it in 3D. All right, I'll do it. But worth it to see it in 3D because the effects really do look different. And it's kind of crazy because I don't really know. I didn't research. I don't care that much, but I'm pretty sure that most of the movie is computer animated, which is pretty crazy for it all to be just CGI. I thought that was crazy because it looks really good considering that. Like, from a technical aspect, I think that makes it worth seeing. Probably one of the more technically impressive movies in terms of effects that you can see. Maybe that might be the apex right now. Because damn, I like. I was watching a little bit of a Marvel movie last night. I think it was Avengers or something, and it was on like TNT. And I feel like it kind of confirmed this theory a little. I feel like they downgrade the quality of the stuff when it ends up on channels like that. Like, it didn't look like the same quality of effects. It just looked a little off, and that kind of confirmed it when I saw that. I was like, but it looked like pretty bad, honestly. I was like, I don't think this looks this bad normally, or that it looked that bad at the time. But after seeing Avatar, I'm like, wow, it's another level. And I mean, it should be. The movie took forever to make. That movie took like years and years to make. Like, I don't even know how many years. Um, it's got to be like 14 or something, close to that. I feel like the first one came out in like '09. It was like a long time ago. Man, that's a long time for them to be working on that movie. So was it worth that wait? No way was it worth that. Because here's the thing: as good as the effects are, the story is just kind of whatever. It's not bad, but it's not that interesting. It's just it's mid. It's a mid story. So in the end, it sort of balances out, and I give it about a 7 out of 11 Zeus slaps God. That's what I would give it personally. I didn't think it was like amazing, but I think it's worth seeing. And if you do see it, I would recommend that you see it in 3D, even though, God, it's ridiculous. Like, I have that, Regal Unlimited pass, but I had to pay $4 for 3D. So I was thinking about, like, what would that be? I think movie tickets are 12 or $13 now, right? Usually. I mean, depending on the place, some of them are like, $30 a ticket or whatever, depending on the theater. If you're going to like Man's Chinese theater. So, man, $17, 16, $17 for one ticket for a 3D movie at like a normal theater. Like, I guess you could get matinee. Matinee's a little less, but you're still going to be paying probably at least like 14 for a movie. That's crazy, you know? I don't know. There's a time in my lifetime where new movies were like $5, I feel like. So it's kind of wild to think of that. The movie industry's struggling though, man. I hope y'all don't kill it. I hope the Zoomers and Alphas don't kill the movie industry. There's just something about the theater, man. It's just fun. It just makes it a movie like that when that comes out. If you try to watch that at home, it's not going to be the same thing. That's one thing I'll say. It's not going to be the same. Movie like Top Gun is not going to be the same at home, man. You got to go out there, get your ass up, and watch the movies. That's all. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Watch some fucking movies. I'm sorry. Why did I cuss? That was needless. That was needless. It's just, I guess, something I'm actually passionate about, honestly. Like, watch some fucking movies. Watch them. I like this side angle. I just feel like it's a little different. It's giving you a little different thing than other podcasts. And I'm sorry, my face looks a little red. I go in the sauna just about every day, and usually it's like there's a longer gap, but I went like a couple hours ago, and it's not that red, but it's redder than it normally would be. So apologize for that. I know you like to see me at my best. Yeah, so about a 7 for Avatar. I saw this movie, Jason's Lyric. I don't know if y'all heard of it. It's kind of a cult classic, I think. Um, I forget who the main actor is. Jason. Lyric is played by everyone's favorite wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Well, she was Jada Pinkett at that time. And you know, she did a good job. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie. And actually, going into this, I was like, was that an 8? Because I felt like I enjoyed the story more than Avatar. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, 8 might be kind of high. It's at least a 7, I would say. 7 out of 11. Zeus slaps guy. It's cool. It's surprisingly pretty violent. Pretty good story. You know, interesting. Um, I didn't know that I think they showed Jada naked. I think, which surprised me. I wasn't expecting it. I guess I don't know. So I mean that wasn't bad. And she looked good in there. She did. I mean, she still looks good. To be fair, it's not like still looks pretty much the same. To be honest, like she aged pretty well. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I would recommend that one. I saw it on Tubi. So some of these, actually most of these I saw on Tubi. So if you're interested in watching any of these, you can watch most of this on Tubi. I mean, Avatar's just about out of theaters. I'm sure he'll try to bring it back into theaters to like break the Avengers record again or something. James Cameron, man. He's just always trying to have like the biggest movie, so he'll just keep re-releasing his movies to like boost their box office. But I don't care. I don't think that either Avatar and Avatar 2 they're like borderline good movies that are really carried by their effects more than anything. Like that was the whole gimmick with the first Avatar, the 3D. It's the same for this one. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's as big of a deal, but I mean, I'm sure it looks better than that one did. I haven't seen that movie since it came out. I have like no desire to watch that movie. Honestly, like that movie is just man. That would be it'd be a lot to try to watch that one again. It's cool though. Like it's not. I don't remember it being bad. I remember it being a pretty good movie. not bad. The first Avatar. This one probably I would say that this last Avatar I think was better because it made you. I actually cared about the characters more. The weird thing is like there's barely any human, like actual humans in the entire movie. Like most of it is the Navi. Is that what they're called? I think so. That was pretty wild. There's like really there's only one human that's like consistently in the movie. The boy, one of the guys, the main Avatar, the main Navi's son. No, actually, my bad. It's not his son. The Colonel's son, like the protagonist, the antagonist. See, that's how you know. Like, I don't really like. You didn't really care about the characters that much, but you cared more than you did in the first one. I would say so. I felt like that. So I give it a little more credit. I saw this Adam Sandler movie, The Cobbler. It had a decent concept. It's probably been done before, like it felt like a concept that's probably been done before. Basically, he's a cobbler that like when he puts shoes on, he can put himself in other people's shoes so he looks like them and everything. So that's the story. Like he gets to see what their life is like. And it wasn't I didn't think it was terrible. I think I kind of agree like I want to say it had like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the user score was like in the high 30s. And I think I would give it about a 4. It's not like it's a terrible movie or anything. The one thing that's striking about it is it's not very funny. Like I think there were more opportunities to be funny. It's kind of a cool story, like a somewhat interesting story, but it's just like where's the humor? It's just not, and it's not annoying. It's not an annoying movie like some Adam Sandler movies, but it's just like the humor is just not there. Like I don't think I laughed like I might have laughed like once or twice in the whole movie, and that's, I mean, if it's supposed to be a comedy, like that's clearly not good. So yeah, I saw Dead Presidents, another cult classic, and that movie is depressing. That movie is super depressing. One thing that I would say is I think they kind of marketed it wrong because it is about a bank heist basically. But the thing is, that's only like the very end of the movie. So you got this whole movie that's like, I don't remember how long it is. I want to say it's like an hour 45 maybe. But it's only the last like 15 minutes that are even about the robbery, which kind of tripped me out because I feel like I saw that movie a long time ago and I kind of forgot. But like, I thought that was weird. Like rewatching it, I was like, man, because like the picture for the movie, like the poster, is from the robbery. It's like from when they're wearing like the face paint and all that, and for that to be like barely any of the movie is pretty odd that that's how they put it out there because it makes you think like, oh, it's a movie about robberies, and it's like it's really not. Like it's more about the Vietnam War and like what happened after that than it is about like bank robberies. But still, I did enjoy it, and I mean, it made me feel something. I just it was depressing. Like if you never seen it, spoiler alert right now, maybe skip ahead a minute. But like, pretty much everyone dies except the main guy who goes to jail for like ever. And it's like that sucks. Chris Tucker's in it, and he did well in there. Chris Tucker was just on a roll in the '90s. I don't know what happened. Like I think he made a bunch of money and then was just like, I don't need to do movies anymore. Although I heard that they're doing Rush Hour 4, so I'm excited about that. The Rush Hours are a guilty pleasure of mine. Like I've always liked the Rush Hour movies. When people ask your favorite movies, I can't like not say Rush Hour, even though I know it's not like the answer that like it's not an answer that people are looking for because they're like, oh, which ones did you admire most for the filmmaking and all that? It's like I just like the movie. It just makes me feel good to watch. It's just entertaining. It's good action, good comedy. Like I know that it's not like a technically amazing movie, but it is a cult classic. The first two especially. I like the third one. I had no issues with the third one. I thought it was cool. Like it fit into me personally. It might not have been quite as good as 1 and 2, but I didn't think it was missing as much as some people thought. That's just me though. Anyway, back to back to Dead Presidents. Yeah, that tripped me out. That like barely of the movie is even about the robbery. It's basically, I mean, I guess in a way it had more substance than you would think, and I don't think the critics really liked it too much. Whatever reasons they had, the audience loves it, and I agree with the audience more. I felt like it's an interesting study of like what happened to black people coming back from the Vietnam War. Because there's not a lot of movies about that. So I thought it was interesting. I don't know. I have a theory that black movies get underrated by critics. Not as much anymore, but back then especially, because a lot of the critics were like old white people, and it's like, yeah, they're not really going to understand like a black person's perspective, so they're probably not going to find as much value in a movie like that. But for me, I was just like, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a good movie. I don't want to give everything a 7 here. I don't want to give it. That's honestly, it feels like it's close to an 8, but I think I give it a 7 out of 11. Zeus slaps God. It might get better with like rewatches. I mean, I think that's the second time I've seen it, but it's just depressing. And it was like I said, that criticism I had of it is it's not a small criticism. It's sort of weird for that to have been when a movie's marketed wrong and it's just totally different than you expect. Like it does knock it down a little, knocks it down a little. It was sad to see like the main character. He just kind of like he loses this woman, and like he does this robbery and goes to jail like forever, and it's like that's brutal. Like that life sucks. You get back from the war, you can't find a job, so you have to rob, but in the process you lose the love of your life and you get locked up forever. Like it's not a warm fuzzy movie. And another spoiler, like Chris Tucker's character is like addicted to heroin. I guess he had like some blood cell. He says he has some blood cell problem, like he has like medical problems or whatever. And they find him because there's a scene where they're just going after everyone. I think they kill some of them. You know, the police when they're raiding all these places. They get to Chris Tucker's character. They draw their guns on him, and they see like his eyes are all whited out, and he's just like he has his mouth open, and he's just staring at the teeth like he's dead. Like he has a needle in his arm, and it's like, damn, it's a pretty heavy movie. They were all in Vietnam together, like Chris Tucker, Lorenz Tate, and all the rest of the cast. Like other than the girl, so his Lorenz Tate's character's girl's it's confusing, huh? The main character's girl's sister, there you go, is like a Black Panther basically, or like she's like an activist, and she ends up getting killed in the robbery. It's like, damn. I mean, it's a sad movie. It's good though. It is good. I'll give it that. But it was sadder than I remember it being. I was like, damn, this movie's brutal, man. Like, in terms of just like, it's not like it's super violent, but just like your heartstrings. It is pretty violent though. There's like a beheading and like the guy gets his innards ripped out and shit. Um, I don't know how that guy was alive either. I don't think he would be unlikely for you to live through like just getting your innards ripped out. And he's like asking Lorenz Tate's character to kill him. Just like, damn. Like I don't know. I don't think you'd be living through that. You'd die. You'd probably pass out from shock at seeing that. To be honest, most people like seeing just your guts hanging out. Like that would be weird for a lot of people. What else did I see? Oh, and I saw Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Um, it's a Martin Lawrence movie. It was well the main actress, the one that he pursues that ends up being crazy, she was stunning. I don't remember her from anything. Was the main actress? I'll get back to you on that. I'm gonna look it up. But you know, it was I was impressed because like she wasn't really that known. I'm sure she's like was more known at the time, but you don't really hear about her these days. She wasn't one of these people. Oh man, a thin line between love and hate. I looked it up. So who is the cast? Lynn Whitfield, who played Brandy Webb. She's 70 years old. Wow, she looks good. She looks good for 70. In that movie, she would have been. Oh, I guess she would have been like 40 something, a little older. It's from '96, the movie. But she looked great in that movie. Yeah, very. And it's a decent movie. That was about a 6 out of 11 Zoostov's Guide. You can also watch it on Tubi. It was cool. It wasn't anything like major. Martin Lawrence wrote it, or at least helped write it. He was good in there. There's some funny moments. It's a decent story. The ending was weird. I didn't really like the ending where he like cuts to her like it's she and Brandy got locked up for X amount of time. I hope she found happiness, and then it just kind of ends, and it's like that was a weird, sort of a weird ending. I don't know. I mean, I guess there wasn't much else you could do, but I don't think I would have done it that way. Honestly, probably would have showed her or something. Just like it was just a weird way to close it out, I guess. I thought, but it's a decent movie. I mean, if you got nothing to do, you're looking for something to watch on Tubi, you can do worse. Tubi's a free app that had like hella Super Bowl ads this year for some reason. I don't know where Tubi gets the money, but somehow, I guess they have ads on their app. Like it's free, but you gotta watch like sometimes a lot of ads would be like 6 ads, but most of them are like 15 seconds. So they just have a lot of sponsors, I think, on Tubi, but it's cool. This weekend, I got to see Nick Mullen, a stand-up comedian, one of the Cum Boys, one of the hosts of Cum Town, which is now the Adam Friedland show. And I'm not gonna lie, that show got me through some tough times. Like, it's some of the when they're firing on all cylinders, it's really some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard. Like it's really hilarious, I think. And I finally got to see him in person in stand up form, which was different. The stand up was different than not in a bad way, but just different. Like I didn't expect it to be exactly like it was, but it was cool. It was worth watching. Like I'm glad that I watched it, but it was a trip, honestly. Like just like seeing him outside of like the podcast format was really interesting. It was cool though. Worth a watch. I enjoyed it, honestly. I thought it was like well done. And I went with my dad and brother, and I honestly didn't know if they were gonna like it. And to my surprise, like I thought Kurt would like it because he's heard me listening. I listened to Come Town the last road trip we had when we visited my grandma. So he's heard me like listen to it, or he's heard it. He's heard me listen to it. That was a dumb way to put that. But he had an idea of what to expect, and his stand up isn't as vulgar as their show is. It's actually not really that vulgar for stand up. Like there's a couple shocking things in there, but it was actually funny, man. And I felt proud because this is like something that I got into on my own, and it's like I've watched their show develop over time, or I guess listen to it develop more than anything. And to take people that, you know, take family, and for them to have a good time, and for really just to enjoy the show and see the crowd and how much they responded to it, it was just great, honestly. I just didn't expect it to go that well. Like I was like, I know I'm gonna like it. I don't know if everyone's gonna like it, and I honestly don't even know how much I'm gonna like it. Like I know I won't hate it. I know that there will be things for me to enjoy, but it was good. It was a good show. and it felt more personal for me than usual. Like usually when you see a comedian, it's like, yeah, I like the comedian, but it's like I feel like this isn't a guy that does, like, he has done a lot of stand up in his life, but he's not someone who does it frequently. So it was like one of those things where it was like this is really kind of stepping out for him. It's like he's stepping out and like doing stand up. It's kind of a trip, honestly. So it was cool. It was good to see. Okay, what? And then I wanted to get into. There's a girl that I hung out with, right? And like we hung out twice. The girl that I went to that concert with, the one I mentioned at a bar last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. St. Patrick's Day. Wasn't that long ago. Was that last week? It was, huh? Or was it? Yeah. Trying to do the math. Yeah, yeah, it was. Friday. Last Friday. So it was it was cool. Um I would say, for those that don't know, I I drink a little now, not a lot. I drank some on St. Patrick's Day. I drank to the point where I was a little buzzed, so by the time I got her back to my place, I saw her body. I couldn't really. Fully. This next time we hung out, I didn't drink it all. She did. I didn't drink it all. And she got naked and I saw her body and I was just disgusted. Like nothing to be. I'm not trying to be a dick. Just not my type. It reminded me of like a pig, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I cannot do this. I don't know if she could sense that or whatever, but I just was not feeling it. I really was not feeling it. But I've been so I've kind of was already like, even after the first time we hung out, I was like, I don't think I'm feeling her like that. Then she kind of insisted on hanging out again. I was like, okay, it seemed like she really liked me. That's always a thing for me, is like, if you're expressing like real interest, I'll give you a shot. If I'm not like, unless there's just no chance that I'm going to be interested at all. And I didn't think there was a chance because she's a Trumpster, she's an anti-vaxxer, however you want to say it. And I was like, if you find out more about me, you're probably not gonna like me. I'm more open-minded than you are, but I don't think it's gonna go well. If you find out like how lefty I really am, you're probably not gonna like me too much. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm already like her face looks good. Looks a little older than it did in the pictures. That's fine because I met her online, on Facebook, I think. Yeah. So, but the body was just like, she's a lot heavier than I expected, and I mean she's still not like obese, I guess, you know, but she's pretty big, and it just was not the body type that I'm feeling. So I was just like, I'm literally just not attracted to it. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I'm not trying to say anything bad. Weird from this angle, like my hands look tiny, like from here, right? That's funny. If I put it here, because I don't have small hands, but if it's like this far away, it looks like I got like little baby hands. That's funny. It's just this angle. That's hilarious though. So she came over, and then out of nowhere, like we went to get coffee, and from this, she's into like rock and punk and all that, and Rad Coffee. Shout out to Rad Coffee. They got one in Long Beach. We were at my place, which I live in Long Beach. Maybe I shouldn't advertise that, because eventually people are gonna, if enough people see this and they start trying to figure out where I live, that might not be good. But so I live in Long Beach. We went to Rad Coffee, and it seemed like a pretty good night overall. It wasn't bad. I mean, I wasn't really feeling her, physically and all that. And I kind of knew like, we're gonna have to cut this off at some point. But out of nowhere, she's just like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I was like, okay, it's fine. So as she's about to leave, she like sees a ghost and starts freaking out. And I'm just like, "Are you all right?" I didn't see the ghost. I didn't see the ghost, and it had to be right by her. But supposedly she saw like this old white woman ghost, because the girl herself is like mostly Latina, right? She's like a light skinned Latina. I think she's part white also. She's like Honduran and Mexican and some other stuff, you know. But she sees a ghost, and then she's like just ready to leave. Like she was already gonna leave, but then she leaves, right? I didn't see this ghost. So I say, okay, well, like let me know when you make it. So she texts me when she gets home that she made it, right? And I'm like, okay. I mean, I know I'm gonna have to cut this off somehow. But what was really weird, what was kind of surprising, I don't know if she got spooked or what, but like she blocked me on like Instagram, which is the main way we had been talking. And then I hit her up because I had her on Snapchat. I was like, hey, what happened? She told me she made it home, so everything seemed fine. And then she blocked me on Snapchat. She blocked me on TikTok, and I was like, all right, okay. I just found it really weird. I was like, I don't know why it went this way, but like everything seemed cool, but I don't know. So it was interesting. I was just like, well, that kind of like solved my problem because honestly, I was kind of just looking for a way. I thought it was immature, honestly, like to just like it's like she saw a ghost and then she ghosted me in a way. But I don't know if she really ghosted me because I think maybe we just had the same sense. I was like, I'm not feeling this. Like she thought I was really attractive. She kept saying it and kept calling me cute and kept mentioning how cute I was and all this stuff. And like I just was not attracted to her, honestly. And I did kiss her because that was when I just saw her face. I did kiss her, and I could tell the kiss, like she was kind of blown away by the kiss. It was like one of those things. It's just like, huh. I mean, it was nice. It was like good energy the first time I hung out with her, even though I knew she had like the crazy stances. I was like, yeah, because she invited me out, so I gave it a shot, and it was okay. I met her friends and stuff, and I don't know, but I thought that was wild. I'm like, this girl must just do this a lot. There's no way that's like the first time she's pulled some shit like that. So I found it pretty crazy that she like did that. I didn't expect her to like go that hard. Personally. Like I didn't expect her to just like jump to like blocking me. Because I mean, it wasn't like there was like an argument or disagreement or anything. It was just out of nowhere. But I was like, okay. I mean, you kind of like saved me the energy because I'm not even gonna lie. I considered doing that, but I was like, nah, that's immature. And then she went and did the immature thing. So I was like, I kind of just want to end this like now. But I'm not that type of person. I never do that to people. I just think ghosting is so cowardly and lame. It's like it's such a lame move. I don't even know if I'd consider that ghosting because I wasn't. It's not like I was trying to get a hold of her. I just like noticed that she blocked me, because like I I watched her story earlier that day, and then I noticed that like it said like user or whatever in my inbox, and I was like, huh, that's weird. Who's that? And then I looked and I was like, oh, she blocked me. All right. Then she started blocking me on the other stuff, but I was cool with it. I was like, whatever, man. I'm not tripping, man. Whatever you want to do, it's no big deal to me. But the thing that was funny about it is like I didn't pay for anything, and she paid for beer. She paid for other stuff. She brought beer. She brought all this stuff. I didn't pay for anything, and I felt good about that. I feel like like it's like my dick grows a centimeter every time I don't pay, and I still get action. It's like the reverse of like when the because I've had scenarios where I didn't pay and I still got sex. Like I didn't pay for anything. I didn't pay for any food. Didn't take them out. Didn't do any of that, and I still got sex. Like and To me, that's probably how women feel when guys pay for. They pay to take them out, they fly them out, they take them on a trip, they buy them clothes, they do all this stuff, and then they don't smash in the end. And I know girls feel like empowered by that. And for me, it's like it's like the opposite. Like when I get sex out of it, and I don't do shit to get it. I don't. There's no monetary value being exchanged. I feel like my dick grows like a centimeter every single time. It's gonna be long as hell by the end of my life. It's already long as hell. I'm just like, it's just funny, man. It's just funny because it's like I understand where they're coming from. I get it's like the opposite though. It's like I don't pay for anything and I get that action, and they have guys pay for everything and they don't give up that action. Oops. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, there was girls where I'd never pay for anything. And I'm not that type of guy. I'm a gentleman, normally. But I'm like, if you're attracted to me and you want to have sex with me, like, we don't have to go out every time. Like, there's no need for that. We don't have to do that. We already like each other. This is like the funnest shit we could be doing. We don't need to spend like $100 on dinner and all that. Like, I swear, like some girls have like an amount. It's like once you hit that amount spent in their head, it's like, all right, I'll give up the pussy now. That's like it's like okay, he spent like 1,000 over the course of a couple dates. I'm gonna give up the pussy now. Like, all right, okay, the sex is always better for you than it is for me, so I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing it. I'm a gentleman. I pay for dates, but I mean, like, I'm not gonna get played like that. I'm just not. So it's funny. I usually pay for stuff, It's so on the rare occasions where I don't, and I still get sex, I feel empowered. Feel empowered as a man. Like hell yes. So I saw there's this church by my parents' house. They always got signs. Like they always got like a cute little cutesy church phrase written on their sign. This week it said, "Heaven riches are tax free." And I couldn't help but thinking, what if that's just a collection plate scam? They're just trying to, that's what it sounds like. It's not like you're just trying to get people to put money in the collection plate. It's creative, I'll give you that. It's creative, but I'm not buying into it. So, on a more serious note, I want to acknowledge my own faults. I have in relationships, there have been times where I didn't always put her first. I didn't always like make it clear to the woman I was dating that she was my top priority. And that's a mistake that we often make. And it's probably the biggest mistake that I've made. It's because honestly, I want to feel special. I don't want to be the only one making someone feel special, And I don't feel like I've really gotten that reciprocated. So sometimes it's hard for me to really just go all in on like making you feel special when I'm not getting that in return. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it makes me like a bad guy or whatever, but that's just how I feel. I'm like, I've done a lot for the women that I've dated. I've done so much and it hasn't been reciprocated for the most part. So it's hard for me to just be on all the time. I think some people prefer what I am is I always treat you well. We're not going to argue, we're not going to fight. I'm definitely not going to put my hands on you. Like we're not going to go through any of those like toxic couple problems. But at the same end of that, that means that we're not going to have the makeups. Some people like that. A lot of people like that. A lot of people are used to that like toxic love where it's like, well, I don't think he loves me unless we're fighting and making up. And he like it's not like they're actually saying this. It's like subconscious where it's like, I don't think he's really into me unless we're just going at it and like he's making it up to me. And it's like that's not how the fuck it should be, man. That's really not how it should be. So I don't know. I just have a hard time with that sometimes. But I acknowledge my faults. I know that there are times I could have done better in that, and I'm saying that because I know I'm about to get into a past relationship. It's about to get pretty heavy, on here. I'm going to do something that I've never done. I mean, all this video stuff is new, but I have never screen shared, and we're going to do that. And if you watch this, legitimately give me your feedback. Let me know what you think about how this conversation went down. Because part of me is like, in the moment, I was like, maybe I was too harsh. But then when I read it back this morning, I was like, nah. I actually thought she came across worse than she did yesterday when I reread it, which I didn't expect. I thought like I read it again and be like, maybe I was an asshole. But honestly, when I read it back, I was like, nah, not so much. But I'll let you be the judge. I do want to say though that I'm not gonna blame the world for my problems. I'm not gonna like I acknowledge, and I'm doing a lot of like real soul searching lately because I am a hopeless romantic. I do want a loving relationship. I have always wanted that, and I'm not gonna get that if I don't work on my own flaws, which I feel like I bring a lot to the table. And I honestly feel like I treat women better than like 99% of guys, at least from everything that I've heard and read, but there's always room for improvement. Not only that, it's just like I'm just picking the wrong ones, man. And that's something that, like, at a certain point, like, maybe pick one or two wrong. I don't think I've ever picked the right one. Straight up. I've never picked the right one to date. Ever. Like, it's always been something dumb. And I gotta do better. I really do. I gotta be more selective. Because a lot of my relationships have just been like, one was like, friends kind of set us up. Another one was like, she saw me and thought I was really attractive. So she reached out to me through her friend. And like, that wasn't really a good way to start a relationship, because I wasn't really that attracted to her, but I was like I wasn't at the same time. I definitely wasn't as attracted as she was, so it's like that's probably not a good place to start. I feel like we should be like madly in love with each other, attracted to each other. And I haven't really had that. Like, honestly, I haven't really. There's always been something where I wasn't fully attracted to my exes, but I was just trying to see them through the personality lens. And I don't think that's wrong, but I think it has to be a combination of all of it. Like, I want to just be blown away in every way. I don't think that's unfair. That's what, like, long lasting relationships are supposed to be about. I don't think I'm asking for too much. But yeah, man, I'm flawed. I'm not perfect. I work on myself every day. I blame myself all the time. I beat myself up. I kick myself around, and I know that I deserve to be loved, and I hope that I can find that. It's difficult these days. I don't feel like most people understand me. I feel like I'm just an alien in this world sometimes, and it's really hard to connect in that way. And I've never met a woman that was like all about me, and I just want that one time in my life. I just have never had that. It's always been like there was some other dude that they were getting over or whatever, like, or they just never stopped talking to other dudes while we were together. It's just always been something like that, and I just have never gotten like 100% of someone's effort. And it sucks. It sucks to think about that because I question, like, have I ever really been in love? Like, I felt like I was at the time. I don't know, looking back. I really don't know, because I'm like, was that love if like they never really gave me all of them? If it was always just like I was just the best option at that particular time, and I was basically just a placeholder. And it's my own fault. It's my own fault for picking people that didn't see me that way. That's my own fault. I accept full responsibility, full blame. I don't care at this point, man. Like I don't need to be right. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be like always ahead of everyone. I don't need like I'm just being real right now. Like I don't need any of that. I just want love and happiness like everybody else, and like I just gotta be real. That's what you gotta do. And I'm as real as it gets, man. But there's always room for improvement. And I think I'm real with all of you. I need to be real with myself. That's what it comes down to. Like, do you really like this person? Are you really attracted to this person? Are you just trying to see the best in them? Don't do that anymore. There's no in terms of dating. There's nothing wrong with seeing the best in people that are friends or associates or all that, but you can't keep doing that dating. I've messed up too many times doing that. You know, my high school girlfriend rated me a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10. She was from my last year of high school going into college. She might have thought lower of me. I don't know. But then the really weird thing is that she liked this guy that was like half a foot shorter than me. She thought he was like super attractive, half a foot shorter than me, and really didn't look that different from me, to be honest. Like we both had the dark hair and he had blue eyes, I have green eyes. Like it wasn't that different. So I was always just like, how do you find that guy like so much more attractive than me? You know? Because like for most women, she was short. She was like 5 feet, so I guess she probably didn't care as much about height as some other women. But I'm like, come on, man. Like almost any woman, if they saw us side by side, probably is gonna pick me. You know, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything. It's just like when you're that similar, bro. You know how much women care about height. Like they straight up won't date like shorter guys. Like they straight up like they would rather date a tall guy that makes less money than a short guy that makes more money. That's wild. That is wild, honestly. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of rambling on here. I wanted to get that off my chest, man. I gotta be better. I know I need to be better, and I'm trying my best, And things will things will work out in the end, but it gets difficult sometimes, man. I have a hard time sometimes. I get down, like we all do. I think I'm more positive than most people, but even I go through it. And with this relationship stuff, it was a doozy of a weekend. I'm about to get into that, but stay tuned. I have to do record this segment differently, so that's why you gotta stay tuned. All right, y'all. I've never done this before. I don't know what to expect. Now you can see like my full inbox on TikTok, which is a little intrusive. But hey, what can we do? You can see. I mean, of course, I'm talking to New Jack and oh my state, my boys. The other people where you see the dates, I never hit them up. They just like I think we followed each other or whatever. But this user, emphasis on the user, Queen Narcissia herself. Let me show you what happened. I mentioned it on a previous show. let's go all the way up. Okay, just so you can see this. So I didn't realize this actually until I've never looked at TikTok on a browser. So I didn't realize this until I looked at TikTok on a browser. Um, as you can see, and please don't hassle her. So please don't hassle her about it. Try again. What did it do? Why's it giving me a hard time? Oh, maybe TikTok knows what I'm up to, so it's trying to mess with me. It could be. They might know. I don't care. I'm doing what I gotta do. TikTok be damned. So we'll see how this records. Either way, you will be able to see me, I'm sure, and you'll be able to read along. Try again. I don't know what it's doing right now. If not, I'll read it off my phone. Um, if anything, it's trying to play hard to get with me. It wasn't doing this earlier. Now it wants to do this. So let's see. So the first thing that she said, I didn't even see this because I couldn't see, so I wasn't on the browser. She followed me on Valentine's Day. I'll tell you that. Mentioned it on a previous show. This is my ex. Like I said, don't bother her. Even though, as you'll see, she says on here she doesn't care who knows it's her. Um, I'll try to, like, if I can edit this to block her name, I'll try to do that. I think I probably can pretty easily, honestly. So I'll do that because I'm not trying to put her on blast, call her out. I'm mostly just breaking this down because, for one, I got to turn a negative into a positive. I got to create content, and I feel like this could be helpful for other people. So she randomly followed me on Valentine's Day, liked a video at 10 o'clock at night on Valentine's Day after not talking to me for years. You know, we've been broken up almost 3 years. I think it's been like 2.5 since we talked because we lived together for what, like 4 or 5 months? Yeah, about 4.5 months after we broke up. And then her birthday was like half a month after that. So at that point, I had to, like, reach out to her. She wished me happy birthday, which my birthday was like 11 days before we moved out. Hers was like 12 days after we moved out. So she wished me happy birthday. I wished her happy birthday. That's the last we talked. She says so. She sent me something that I couldn't see. It says the message type isn't supported. She might have deleted it because I can't even see it on the app anymore. And I do want to say she blocked me on like everything now, which is funny because, like, for years I wasn't blocked on anything. Like, it's not like I was keeping up. Maybe she did and then unblocked me or whatever. But from what I know, I don't believe I was blocked on anything because I'd still see her sometimes when, like, on comments from my photos in the past. If I was ever going through my photos, I'd still see her profile, and on Facebook, she would pop up as like a suggestion sometimes. Which I'm like, Facebook, what are you doing? Her brother still pops up all the time, which is weird. But now she just blocked me on everything. I think she got in her feelings. But so she says, "Hey," I say, "Sup." She says, "Not much. How are you?" I say, "Pretty good. How are you?" "Great. A lot has changed since we last spoke. Joined the Air Force for one." "Yeah, it's been a long time. How do you like the Air Force?" She said, "It has its pros and cons, but it's getting me where I want to be in life. I got married and I'm expecting as well." So I kind of knew this because her cousin had reached out to me before, and I kind of knew that some stuff was going on. And I didn't really know what to say. I just said, "Congratulations." I find it weird at this point. It almost seemed like she was reaching out specifically to, like, show me, "Oh, look, I'm fine without you. I don't need you." I said congratulations. She said thank you. I said you're welcome. Pretty surprised to hear from you. Well, you added me. I don't have ill feelings. Ill is messing up. I followed you because you. I followed you after you followed me, but that's good. You don't have ill feelings. I think you can kind of tell. Like, I, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do have ill feelings because of what I went through with her, and it's hard, and I hate it. I feel like a bad person. I don't like to be that type of person, but it is hard sometimes for me to really wish her the best. I am not gonna lie. It is hard because it she just put me through so much and it just seemed like she didn't care, and I think you'll see that in this conversation. I didn't realize I followed you. You didn't realize you followed me on Valentine's Day. Yeah, you followed me on the night of Valentine's Day and liked a video. That's what I said. LOL. Definitely don't remember that, but okay. How did you find, and then I asked her, how did you find my TikTok? You came up as a suggestion. If your TikTok isn't private, you'll show up. Oh, but, and I said, oh, but you don't remember following me. She said, no, not at all. I'll definitely tell you it wasn't intentional. I just seen your request and approved it. Wait, you remember me coming up as a suggestion, but you don't remember following me. Yeah, that's not the first time you've popped up as a suggestion. Why are you so surprised? Laughing emoji. I guess TikTok likes me, laughing emoji. I didn't know. Well, your profile is private and the name just says user 4258524484183. So I followed back to see who it was. I legitimately didn't know it was her. Like, I had my suspicions, I won't lie, but I couldn't see like what her name was. Gotcha. I didn't know that either. App is weird. Yeah, that's why I was surprised because I didn't talk to you for a few years and you followed me on Valentine's of all days. So then I didn't talk to her for a while, right? That was the last we messaged back and forth for a while. And so the message that's missing there, I sent a message because I randomly, so on Friday night, at like 7 p.m. TikTok is super invasive and it tells you when someone views your profile. So I saw she viewed my profile and then I saw that I wasn't following her and I was like, well, that's weird. So I went and saw that I wasn't following her and she unfollowed me. So I made the joke. I guess you figured out how the unfollow and follow button works because what she had done is she had unfollowed me and removed me as a follower of her. So she says, I sure have, LOL. I don't know if like, because I know if on Instagram, if I send you a message, if I delete that message is gone. And I tested that out because I have like a few Instagrams. Like, there's only one that I really use, but I made other ones. If I think of a good Instagram name, I'm like, okay, like Infinity Zenny. I'm like, I should probably keep that name. Might even make it my main name at some point. But if I get it, then somebody else can't try to take it later. You know what I mean? So she says, I sure have. Why are you being extra? I'm a narcissist, right? We shouldn't be friends anyway, laughing emoji. I said, when did I call you a narcissist? Laughing emoji. I thought the follow unfollow thing was funny because you were saying you followed me on accident. I did. Clearly, I don't. And then she says, I did. Clearly, I don't talk to you. I'm not that ex that wants to come back. So we're starting off kind of like weird. You made a whole video about me. You forgot that fast? I'll show you that video coming up. I actually deleted a lot of videos and I have like I think hundreds of videos on TikTok. TikTok doesn't count them like that, but I'm guessing I do. I probably made 100 videos since I released that video. And I she's right. I called her a narcissist. I didn't call her out by name, but she knows our story. So only those super close to me, which like none of them are on TikTok, really know that story. So for me, it was me responding to a question. It's like when you stitch it, it's responding to a question about like what made you finally get over someone you were like in love with. So I told the story and I called her a narcissist. She really had to watch the video. It's like 3 minutes, and I called her that like at the very end. So she went through hundreds of videos and found that video like a narcissist would, just looks combing through. to figure out, like, has he said anything about me? So I said, which video? Laughing emoji. Was it a really long time ago? I definitely didn't make anything recently. I didn't. Me neither. I never tried to hit exes up again. Yeah, that's a wild coincidence to accidentally follow your ex on Valentine's Day. 2 years after we've broken up, lol. Zach, I don't want nothing from you, lol. You followed me. Like, I don't know. She's still trying to insist you. I will show y'all evidence that she followed me. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see the camera, so I'm going to do it after we go through this. I'll show you now, but I'll re-show it later just in case it doesn't pick up because I want it to be on the record. It's like she is doing this narcissistic thing where she flips it where it's like, no, that's all on you. It's gaslighting. It's like, you followed me. You were the one who reached out to me. Like, no, I didn't. I definitely was not trying to do that. I had pride, and I definitely was not trying to like follow you and like make you feel like I wanted to get back with you and give you that little ego boost. Because honestly, I boosted your ego enough over time, like over the years, you know. I did enough of like trying to, you know, make you feel good or whatever. Like, I did enough of that. So, I don't know. I definitely wasn't trying to do that. There you go. You can see that's her, as you can see. User started following you. What day does that say? And I will redo this to make sure that it's captured on here. 214. She followed me. I promise you on everything that I did not follow this woman first. I don't know how she found my TikTok. She must still have my number if I had to guess. That's probably what it is. Said, I don't remember the video. You sure it was about you? I didn't think you wanted anything. That's why I was confused when you followed me. She said, yeah, I'm positive. Well, I just got rid of a lot of videos today, so that might be one of the ones I got rid of. Was it on here? She said, I didn't see it this morning, so I don't know. But you obviously felt strongly about the situation to make a video about it 2 years later. LOL. It's okay, those are your feelings. It all wasn't entirely true, but that's your truth. I hope you find happiness. Prayer hands. So I said, I probably made 100 videos since then. I don't know how I messed up since, if I did that or if I got auto corrected, but that was dumb. And deleted a lot of them. I think it was a duet video, right? So it was just me responding to a question. I don't really remember. So if it seemed like I had strong feelings, then that was a mistake on my part. Most likely, I was just talking about about relationship problems in general and trying to help people who went through similar experiences. What did you feel like wasn't true? The video upset you to the point where you unfollowed me and removed me as a follower, so it seems like it upset you. That wasn't my intention. I definitely made it before you followed me on here. Thank you. I am happy. I hope you find happiness too. You know, it's fairly positive now. I'm being positive. She says, it didn't make me upset. I laughed actually. Narcissist. That's a narcissistic thing to do. To laugh at a video of someone kind of like pouring their emotions out and telling you how you made them feel and stuff like that. You know, I never mentioned her name. I wasn't like specifically trying to make her look bad. I was just putting my story out there because it was a lot to go through. I know I made the right decision, but that solidified it. Weird for you to bring that up. Saying you don't want anything from me, you want nothing to do with me and all this. But now you're bringing up the decision. That tells me that you were still, probably still are, still thinking about, did I make the right decision by screwing this man over for the sake of another guy with like 3 kids already who like, you know, really, who I argue with all the time, who I don't really have like, who doesn't really treat me as well as he did. Did I really, you know? Did I really make the right decision? I know you're wondering that, sweetheart. I understand. I don't blame you. I would too if I fucked someone over like that. I would feel like that too. I'd feel horrible. And I don't, it's not that I want you to feel horrible, but I hope that you do feel something, like, man, because that's the part that sucked is it just felt like You never cared. Like, you didn't give a shit ever about any of it. She said, showed me what I knew all along. I have no desire to relive all that. You said what you said, and like I said before, it's your truth. I had no business being friends with you on social media anyway, nor did I want to while you followed me, so. You say I added you, and instead of going back and forth about it, I decided to just be cordial because I don't have any ill feelings towards you. You added me. I don't understand. Like, I'm sure you at least had to have realized that when you went to unfollow me. You definitely saw that you were following me, and it wasn't like, unless you just like somehow forgot that you followed me first, which I don't even know how. And honestly, if I followed my ex on Valentine's Day, I would make sure I unfollowed them. Like, if I wasn't interested in them, trying to hit them back up, that's such weird timing, man. So weird. Really, what? And I said, really, what made you laugh about that? And what did you know all along? Honestly, I saw you post a lot of stuff in your story on IG that was dissing me after we broke up, but I never said anything. So she would post stuff about being cheated on and shit. After she cheated on me, she was posting about, like, basically anybody that knew our relationship would have assumed that I had cheated on her, which was really shitty to do because it's like, now you're destroying my character, and we do have some mutual contacts, not a lot, but there's some, and it's like, you're making me look bad. You're insulting me, posting stuff like how I was, basically making it look like I was a bad partner to you, saying all these shitty things when you're the one that fucked me over. Like, and you know that, and it's like your whole thing that you're holding on to is that I didn't do everything that you asked, which is just like ridiculous, because the one thing I ever asked you for was to not fucking cheat on me, and you still fucking did it. Easiest, like, relationship basics 101: don't fucking cheat. It's the worst shit you can do to someone. You still fucking did it, and you won't even acknowledge it now. You won't even acknowledge it now. You'll see in this conversation, and you wonder why I call you a narcissist. I didn't even know exactly what the exact. I knew what a narcissist was, but I didn't know exactly how it worked, all the specifics of it. And I have to say, you are one of the most narcissistic people I've ever met, honestly. And I think this conversation proves that. So I said, at least you feel like you made the right decision. So I'm being a little condescending. In a way, I guess not really. In my head, I'm thinking like, well, you feel like you did. I don't think you did, but I don't see how that's the right decision. You're saying you made the right decision. So cheating on someone was the right decision. Dating people while you still lived with them, I mean, to her credit, she did admit that that was a mistake later on. You'll see. It didn't seem like you really felt bad about anything that happened, so that makes sense you would feel that way. I honestly wasn't going to contact you again. I wasn't. Didn't seem like a good idea to me, so I really was surprised that you followed me. I don't really see a reason why you would have ill feelings towards me, though. I think you knew my intentions were good. She said, you're right, your intentions were good, which is why I don't speak ill about you. Seems like she's taking a shot at me for speaking ill about her, even though, I mean, okay, so I said the story years after the fact, which was intentional. I didn't just come out there saying it like right away, like I didn't do that. Um, I waited until, I don't think I ever even talked about it until we had moved out. And again, most people didn't know my relationship because I wasn't telling people about it. So it wasn't like I was blasting you to the whole world. You did the same shit by putting that shit in your stories. You told people things about me. You made me look bad to your friends and all that. So, I mean, you did the same shit, girl. You know what you did. But the difference is I didn't really do anything wrong to you, and you know that. I mean, the most you'll say is that I didn't like spend enough time with you when my daughter was here. That's like your one thing that you harp on, and then you went and got with the. Never mind. We'll continue on. You're right. She said, "You're right. Your intentions were good, which is why I don't speak ill about you. I may have posted things I agreed with and probably still agree with to this day. That's my truth. The only thing I would change is dating other people while we were still living together. I was done with the relationship before that. You just wasn't trying to hear it." So here's the thing. I did try to make the relationship work for the 4 months that we lived together, 4.5 months we lived together. We dated for 3.5 years. I don't think that was weird while we're still living together to try to make it work. That's, it's like, it's almost like she's trying to make me feel bad about like trying to make an effort, even though she made it clear. But here's the thing about that is like everything seemed great. And I mean, I knew that I hadn't done anything wrong in the relationship, you know, really. Like, yeah, of course, there's little things here and there you do wrong. Like, I could have spent more time with her, could have managed the time better. I would do that in the future, in a future relationship, but I don't think that that's the end of the world. I watch so many dudes treat women like absolute dog shit, and they still keep running back to them. So for this to be her comment is really rich. It's like, for real, he wasn't trying to hear it. Yeah, it came out of nowhere, and it wasn't clear. You'll see. That's good that you know that and don't speak ill about me. I don't speak ill about you either, and that video was honestly anonymous on purpose because I wasn't trying to put you on blast like that. That's why it was on TikTok and not Instagram. I mean, I got like, you know, 30 something thousand followers on Instagram. Almost 33,000. I think I lost a couple recently. I was at 33,000 for a while, and I'm at like 32.9 or whatever. Because I wasn't trying to put you on blast like that. That's why I was on TikTok and not Instagram. Barely anyone I know actually follows my TikTok. As you can see, I barely follow anyone on here. Only follow 20 people now after she took me off. And the other girls, I was at like 22. That's the most I've ever had that I followed. I think I have like 1,500 followers or something. Most of them bots, I'm sure. Yeah, that part. And so I said, yeah, that was part of it. And you also started dating people before we actually broke up, laughing emoji. It also wasn't clear that we were broken up for a few weeks because you said you needed some time to think. But that was a long time ago, So I'm like, all right, you might not remember. I mean, I remember. I don't care if you say, she said, I don't care if you say my name. I don't care what people think about me. So this is all good, right? You shouldn't have any problem with me sharing our conversation. I mean, no one knows you anyway. Like, no one knows who you are, so it's not going to really be a super painful thing for you. Someone will always have an opinion. Like I said, your truth is your truth. You remember things differently than I do. We'll be here all day on the subject. There's no point, lol. So, what she's saying makes sense logically, but here's the thing: if you cheated, you cheated. If you cheated, you cheated. There's no, it's my truth. It's my truth. That's the thing that's funny to me. It's like I probably could have walked in on her with a dick in her pussy, and she'd be like, "I'm not cheating right now. This is my truth." I caught this girl red-handed, straight red-handed, and she refuses to admit it. Like you, she literally messaged a friend and told them that she cheated on me, and now she tries to say she didn't cheat. She knows she cheated. She even admits it to an extent here. You'll see. I said, that we can definitely agree on, laughing emoji. I don't care what people think of me either. Life's too short for that. But the video is gone anyway, I'm pretty sure. I got rid of a lot of videos the last few weeks. So I'll tell you the honest truth. The video, for all intents and purposes, is gone. Only I can see it now. I didn't want to delete it because it had a lot, partially because it had a lot of likes for me on TikTok. I think it had like 80 likes or some shit. And so I'm like, I don't want to ruin my like count, but and I think it was a good video that could help people, but I don't really feel the need to keep it on my profile. It is a little oversharing, I think. So I'll show it to you, because if you tuned in, you made it this far into the episode, you deserve closure, you deserve to see. But that's just me. So I said, wait, you don't remember cheating? Because I remember you telling one of your friends you cheated on me. Like, I saw those messages, but it was a long time ago. Giving you the benefit of the doubt. Not really, but just saying, like, it was a long time ago, so you may not remember. I don't know. She said, laughing emoji. Well, IDK how I cheated on you if we were done. I don't remember the friend or that conversation or who was even spoken about. That's sad. I just caught that now. Who was even spoken about? So if you ever see this, it was your friend who's like becoming a nun that you told about it. It was almost like a confession. and you said you were talking about me, and you said I cheated on him. You said that in like March 2020 after you messed with that dude. You told her you cheated on me. You said that in those words. Probably still got the conversation, you know. So I put laughing emoji. Come on, I thought we already confirmed this. Or the guy who said he missed your lips while we were still together. The guy that worked at that restaurant. So, she says, I remember him. I let him kiss me. Still doesn't sound like you're fully taking accountability. You said you let him kiss you. Like as if he kissed you, you know, and it was all on him. That's how they be doing. The narcissists never want to take accountability for shit. It's always someone else's fault. I let him kiss me. Well, that's cheating, sweetie. Sorry. I said, oh, okay. I mean, honestly, either way, it's in the past. I just thought you were trying to say that didn't happen now. Like I said, I remember things differently. You just said that you remember him letting him kiss you. Oh my god. This is the third time reading through this now, and it's just so dumb. I remember things differently. Your truth is your truth, and mine is my truth. Me kissing another guy isn't cheating. All I know is I said I was done. You were still trying to do things to fix it, and I was allowing you to. Oh, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to fix it. Even though you dated other guys and were like sleeping. Well, she slept with at least one. I don't know. She said she slept with, you know, she mentioned a guy that she slept with. Like it was like a couple days after we broke up, so that was always sus. But anyway, and I was allowing you to, all while she said that she was allowing me to try to fix it, all while continuing to talk to people, which is why I said I should have waited to date when we were no longer living together. Yes, you absolutely should have. There was no need to rush and fuck another guy days after we broke up while we lived together. It's different if you don't live together. It's really inconsiderate and awkward as fuck to do that while you live together when you know that, I mean, the worst case scenario, you're going to have to see me every single day. You really want to be thinking about that? Like that you did that, you know? It's awkward. Why would you do that? What was the rush? What was the rush? Honestly, you know, we could have done it differently. Our lease was up. It was about to be up in June. We could have just like, we broke up in April. We could have just snapped it off right then, been done. You know, we could have done that. You chose to continue to live with me and just like torture me, basically. You know, you said you were doing it because you didn't want it to be an abrupt thing. Honestly, you did it while Jazzy was here too, by the way. You were talking on the phone to this guy while we're across the hall. My daughter has to hear you talking to another man, flirting with another man after you broke her daddy's heart. What about that? Do you care? Probably not. Do you care about that? She cared about you. She really liked you. She said she loved you. She looked up to you, and you did that. And you want to sit here and play like it was nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. Narcissist. Queen Narcissia said, I understand. If I cheated, I would feel bad, and it would be difficult for me to come to terms with. It would be difficult to come to terms with that for me. I know the one guy you slept with days after the break started at the latest. Could have been before, in parentheses. And I didn't even know you were considering that break to actually be a breakup, because she said like that I don't remember the exact terms, but it wasn't fucking clear that it was the end. And to be honest with you, I think she retconned it. I think that we were on a break, and then once she fucked the other dude, she tried to say like, oh yeah, that was a breakup, because she didn't want to consider that cheating. But the reality was, and who even fucking knows? To be honest with you, I think she probably smashed that dude like before she even said the break thing. That's probably what led to the break thing. Either way, she kissed another different guy before that. And I saw all the messages about her talking about giving people sloppy toppy and shit and all this. Like she was inviting your guy to our house to our home to give him Slappy Tappy. It was a guy that we both knew from high school, and she wants to sit there and play like she, didn't do anything wrong. And that was before the break or the breakup or any of that. So it was a lot. There was a lot. She was trying to meet up with dudes. I don't know if she ever met up. I'll never know. And honestly, I don't care at this point. It doesn't matter. It's like if it's one, if one is already too many. It doesn't, at a certain point, I guess it makes it worse if it's like 100 and like whatever. If it was probably a couple of guys in reality. You know, I said, I tried to make it work. I felt like I invested a lot of time into that relationship and I worked so hard to trust you. I felt like my trust was broken in the end. She said, I can understand that and I'm sorry it went the way it did, which is probably the best she can do for, like, her personally. That's probably the best she can do for an apology. It's the equivalent of telling someone like, I'm sorry you feel that way. They always say that's gaslighting. It's kind of similar along the same lines, but I think that's probably the best she could do. I thought that I was very clear about how I felt, and I see for you I wasn't. You knew that. I said that you weren't clear. I said it, you knew. You already knew that. Unless you just refused to see it. I wrote like a really long letter where I told you that. So I read the letter to you. So you knew. I made it very clear. And your takeaway from that letter was like, so I'm just a bad person. She took like the negative thing of it. The whole letter was like trying to fight for the relationship and like trying to convince her to get back with me. And she took like, so it's my fault? Like a narcissist would. She looked for the part that was about her. Like, I'm trying to get back with you. Like, I want to make this work. I don't want to just throw away 3.5 years and thousands of dollars spent on rent together and like all that. I want to believe that you're better than this. Like, I really do. I don't want to feel like I just wasted all these years. Said, I'm sorry it went the way it did too. It was hard not to feel like I just wasted my time because it felt like you didn't really care. She said, I felt like I wasted my time as well, which is why I chose to stop caring and act the way I did. Remember, she said that because she's about to not make sense. That was the only thing that I was embarrassed about because I know that wasn't me. I let my friends talk me into feeling like I shouldn't care anymore and to do me. So now it's her friend's fault, which is something I never did before and was honestly my choice. I stopped doing it real quick because I knew that wasn't me, had nothing to do with you. From what I remember, you have done that for the last few years, honestly. You've never really acknowledged what you did, and you still don't. You still act like you don't care. You have never said that you are sorry about how you made me feel. You never say you're sorry. You don't even say that you did anything wrong. You said it was clear we were broken up. You made it clear and all that. Either way, broken up or not, sleeping with other people while you still live together very soon after a breakup is not the nicest thing to do while somebody's still trying to like make their relationship work. You might have been done, whatever. That's fine. I don't see how that was the best for you or for me, really. Definitely wasn't the best for me. That sucked. It was hard to deal with. It was some of the that was the worst year of my life and that was already like bad. She said, and I cut you off once I moved out because I felt because I wanted to make it clear for you that what was done was done. Same thing I did with Evan. I said, why did you feel like you wasted your time? I didn't really feel like I should have said like that until I got cheated on and you didn't seem to care how that made me feel. That's why I felt like I wasted my time. See, I didn't know that. Makes more sense because the lack of care seemed to come up out of nowhere. I did always feel like your friends were jealous of our relationship, though, so I don't think they were really trying to give the best advice. Laughing emoji. I don't. Like, they would say hater shit to her, like, oh, he looks like he's going bald and all this, and like, it would, they would insult me. They would tell her, like, oh, girl, you could do better, like, little hater shit like that, they would say. So, like, But then they would say jealous shit too, like, like, oh, he does all that for you. Oh, he like you get to sleep with him every night. Like they were jealous of that type of stuff. They asked like, oh, does he have any brothers? Like stuff like that. Like they clearly thought I was a catch, and like plus all the stuff. I'm sure you told him a lot of positive things about me. But whatever though, man. Like, and I say, cutting me off was the right thing to do at that time. I felt some type of way about helping you move and getting cut off right after that, but there wasn't really a point in keeping that communication going if you really were done with me. There wasn't. I don't think there was a point. We didn't need to talk anymore at that point. It made sense. I had to constantly repeat myself about things that bothered me, and not much changed until I said I was done. That was what made me angry and made me stop caring. I've dealt with that already. Okay? Well, I said, so I responded to that with, there will always be things you can do better. I blame myself a lot. Trust me, laughing emoji. In fact, I blame myself completely when we first broke up. But honestly, when I look back, I know I was good to you. I know I treated you about as well as you can treat someone. Sure, there are a few things that I could have done differently, and I would have done differently, but I know in my heart I tried my absolute best. That's part of what made it hard. Like, I really did everything I could do, and this is the result. Laughing emoji. But honestly, I think that was a very hard time in your life, and we probably shouldn't have even dated so soon after your breakup with Evan. The fact that you're saying you dealt with that already means you were comparing the relationships in your head and kind of confirms what I thought, which is that I didn't really get a fair shot. Your patience was worn thin from him. I mean, she said that all the time. Like, she was always complaining about his ass, and like, she made it seem like he was just a horrible guy. And when I look back, I'm like, I think he got screwed over too. I think she cheated on him with me. In fact, I kind of know she did at this point. So, like, it's too clear, you know. She said she was kind of single. You weren't single. When we first got, like, hooked up, she said she was kind of single. That doesn't make sense. I think her dumb friend told her to do her in that scenario. Well, your friends are wrong both times. Hopefully you've learned your lesson. If I had to bet, she has probably cheated on this dude. In fact, I know she did because she slept with me like a few weeks after they started dating. So I know she cheated on him, but it's all good. I mean, that wasn't a good sex session because neither of us it didn't feel right, but still was cheating. It's like I still slept with you. So I don't know. But I didn't know they were together until later. So in my defense, but she knew they were like dating. I didn't know what they had going on, honestly. I knew she slept with him, but you know. So I said, my biggest worry going into dating you was that you wouldn't be fully ready for the relationship so soon after Evan, and I think that was true. She said, it was completely different situations, but the outcome was the same in my opinion. I do believe I wasn't ready to be with someone who had a child. Someone that had a child. Bullshit. You will see. The guy that she cheated with, or that she started dating right after, had like at least 2 kids, I think 3 kids. She says that. You will see. I wasn't ready to be with someone that had a child. There were a lot of things I didn't understand. I don't believe I had a lot of expectations or unrealistic ones. I chalked it up as our outlook on things being different, and I had to decide if it was something I'd be okay with, and I wasn't. I think I think that she is doing her best to convince herself that that's true. Our outcomes being different. Oh, we're just different. It just wasn't going to work. I think we went through a down period in our relationship and you jumped ship immediately. You didn't give me the chance, and then you felt bad later about what you did. And I think you are still kind of in denial and you want to believe that you did the right thing. There's no way to justify what you did. I'm sorry, there's just not. You can be done all you want, but I didn't deserve that. I know I didn't deserve it. You know it. I mean, you told me you thought you were going to hell for the way you treated me, so it is what it is. So the outcome being the same is interesting. Why do you think it ended up being the same? What I'm saying there is like you're the common factor in both of these scenarios being the same. There's three people involved. It's you and Evan, you and me, three total people. Well, if they're exactly the same, that would seem to indicate that you may have done something wrong. But no, we can't do that. The only thing you did wrong was dating while we still live together. Yeah, that's all you did wrong. No big deal. You did end up dating someone with kids right after that, though, right? So did our relationship prepare you for that? From my end, you were really the first relationship I had since I had a kid. Got the sense right there. So I didn't really know how to balance that, and I was working through that. I would have balanced that time better in retrospect. I was really trying to be the best father I could with the limited time I had with her, but I do think I could have managed that better. So she says, hard to say. I feel like I communicated enough in both situations. I did date someone with kids. I wouldn't say it prepared me at all. I think that's a weird way to say that. It just doesn't make sense. It didn't prepare her at all. But you're saying you weren't ready at that time. You immediately started dating with someone. You immediately started dating someone that had kids and married them like within a year. So weird. At least as far as I know, if your profile was any indication that you married him in May 2011, we broke up in April 2020. So what does that mean? We moved out at the end of August 2020. So you got married, you know, how many months is that? Like 9 months after that, you're married? That's weird. I'm sorry. That's weird. Something's off about that. Either it was just a mistake, or you had been talking for longer than you're making it seem like before that. Because I don't see that just happening out of thin air like that. I don't know. It's weird, but I mean, strange things happen sometimes. Completely different scenarios surrounding the kids. I married someone with kids. Any issues I've had and spoke on have been fixed, or we've been able to come to an understanding, something I wasn't able to get with you or Evan. Not to say there's anything wrong with you, just on different paths and have different outlooks on things. So she's being fairly diplomatic. I see a little bit of growth on her part. I'll give her that for that. So that is interesting. Yeah, the guy you right after, see, I was kind of typing emotionally to an extent. I gotta admit, I was, or like quickly, the guy you started, well, I meant the guy right after slash during me had kids, I remember, and you ended up marrying him. So the kids thing never really made sense. But you know what? Sometimes you can't really explain why you like someone. You just do or don't. Maybe different outlooks, maybe just the wrong time and the wrong circumstances. Either way, what's meant to be always works out in the end. She said, it's not about having kids, really. It's about the balance. I said, I could have balanced it better during the few months of the year she was here, but the other 8 to 9 months of the year when she wasn't here, I spent pretty much all my free time with you. That's true. And you were always welcome to join us. You were. Our apartment was a mile away from my parents' house, which is where me and Jesse usually were. You were always welcome. In fact, you should have come over more. You barely ever spent time with like the whole family. I was trying to do the right thing where it's like I had her see my family too, because they want to see their granddaughter. My brothers want to see their niece. Like I want her to be in their lives too. They love her. Like I don't understand why that was so hard. Yes, I could have done better with the time management. Is that really a good reason to break up with somebody? Absolutely not. Okay, Zach, this LOL, this is why I wasn't trying to go there with you. I see you will never understand the issues I had, and it's okay. There will be someone that is going to be okay with it. All right, fair. I don't I mean, it still seems like you're saying I don't understand you. I said, I understand the issues you had. I took full blame at first. Maybe you don't know, but I spent a lot of time blaming myself for every little thing that wasn't perfect. And I still know what I could have done better. You wanted more time with me, and that's not the worst thing in the world. She said, I wasn't looking for perfect, and the only thing you mentioned is the time being spent. That wasn't even the half of it. But this has drug out more than I would have liked it to. Like I said, I hope that you are happy and find someone that makes you happy. You deserve it. So I said, right, but the main issues that you had was with Jazzy and how that time was managed. That's the main thing that you had an issue with from everything you said. In this whole conversation, she never really said any other issues. You know what I mean? It's just the only thing she ever said was she didn't think she could date someone with kids, which was complete bullshit. She married someone with kids like a year after we broke up. So that was a lie. Just not true. It's just straight up not true. There's no. It's. I guess it's her truth. It's her truth, which is a lie. Her truths are lies. Okay, got that cleared up. I said that was your main issue with me. That was your main issue. That was your main issue with me was me not making enough time for you, right? I wrote that weird. My bad. Didn't mean to even get into any of this. TikTok is so invasive, I swear. You know, it tells you when people view your profile. So I saw when you viewed mine to unfollow me and remove me as a follower. I am happy. Thank you. And thanks for saying I deserve someone. That's nice of you to say. She sent the thumbs up emojis. I sent a thumbs up, and that was the end of the conversation. That was it. That's how it ended. If she was trying to prove that she wasn't a narcissist, I don't think any of that proved that she wasn't.
What killed your feelings
I
for
don't think
someone
she
you were
cared
once
though.
madly in love
She didn't
with?
care about being a
I almost
narcissist
don't
or
want to
not.
say because I don't want to give
You
someone
know, she
undeserved
wanted
clout.
to
But I guess if I
get her
don't say
point
their name, then
across
there's
or
no clout,
whatever.
huh? So I met a girl who
I
I
think
thought
the
was
whole point
really
of her
sweet.
hitting me
She
up,
was
if I
very
had to
sweet
guess,
to
was
me,
to
and she
just
promised
show
she'd
me that
never do
she's
me
fine
wrong. She
without
knew I
me.
had been through a lot.
You
I've been
know,
hurt. I've been
see how I
cheated
was
on a few
doing without
times.
her.
She promised me she'd never do
See
anything
if I
like
was
that.
miserable
The
without
problem
her and
was
all
she was
that.
coming out of a 5-year relationship. So I kind of
I don't
insisted we
know.
take
I'll
it
never
slow,
know.
get to know each
I'm
other.
not really
And in
trying
the
to know,
process of
honestly.
doing that, her mom passed away.
I'm over it.
So we were faced with a difficult
I'm gonna
choice.
show
She couldn't
you because
afford to
I think
live on her
I'm sure
own,
I can
so
still
she'd
see it
have
on
to
my
move
profile.
with relatives
I
in
want to get
another
rid of more of
state,
these videos
or
because
we
my
could move
TikTok
in
looks so
together.
boring when it's
We
just
really
all my
liked each other,
face in the
so we moved
videos.
in
It's just that
together,
I
and I
do a
paid
lot
the
of those like
majority of the
rapping
rent.
ones or filter ones.
Basically gave her a place to stay.
So
So I
let's
treat
see.
her well, barely ever any
Yeah, but
arguments. I could count them on one hand.
oh,
Never
there
yelled
it
at
was.
her,
Because only I
obviously
can see
never
this.
hit her, never
Actually, I
cheated
can
on
see
her,
it's like
anything like
locked.
that. But I have a daughter who lived out of state, and I wouldn't get to see her as often as
Let's
I
go to
wanted
it.
to. So when my
I'll
daughter would
play it
come
for you
here,
so
I
you
would
can see for
focus on
yourself.
her, and I'd spend all my time with her. So my ex had a problem with that. Like for 8 or 9 months of the year, I lived with my ex, and we were together. We spent all our time together. We did everything together. But for those 3 or 4 months my daughter was here, I prioritized my daughter more. And my ex felt like I wasn't making enough time for her. So this bothered her, and she started talking to other people behind my back. We broke up, and it didn't make sense to me. We were still living together, so I did something that I've never done before, and I looked through her phone. And when I did, I saw all types of messages from other guys, and I discovered that she had cheated on me with another guy. I don't know exactly what she did, but I know she at least kissed the guy. So I confronted her about it, and she denied it until I specifically said, well, why did he say he missed your lips? And her response was, well, if I were you, I would feel horrible that I drove someone to this. And at the time, I was so hurt that I bought into what she said. I thought I was the problem. And sure, there's always things that you can do better. But the further I got away from it, the more I realized that she was just a narcissist. I never got like a real apology or anything. I actually helped her move when we moved apart, and she cut me off the next day and said she didn't think we should talk anymore. So it took a while to settle in. This was in 2020, so there was already so much going on. I had family problems and everything, and it was literally the worst year of my life. But I realized that I deserved better than that. I spoiled her on holidays, birthdays. We went on trips together. I did everything that you could think of for her. And I learned that there's no amount you can do for someone like that. It'll never be enough. And then when I reflected on it, I realized that when we had started talking, she said she was kind of single. So she actually cheated on that 5-year relationship with me. Once a cheater, always a cheater. We all deserve better. But yeah, that did it. I was done.
What killed your feelings for someone you were once madly in love with?
I almost don't want to say because I don't want to give someone undeserved clout. But I guess if I don't say their name, then there's no clout, huh? So I met a girl who I thought was really sweet. She was very sweet to me, and she promised she'd never do me wrong. She knew I had been through a lot. I've been hurt. I've been cheated on a few times.
There you go. That is the video that triggered it. Now, I actually meant to take this down before she saw it. I didn't. I'm kind of embarrassed of it, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I'm a little embarrassed of it. It's not my best look, I don't think. It's not bad. I'm being honest. I'm telling you from the heart how I felt, but it's just a bit of an overshare, you know. And to be honest, when I watch it now, I kind of in the video I actually downplayed everything she did. I didn't talk about all the nights that I heard her talking to another guy on the phone, talking shit about me, the other guy that she was dating, like while I'm sleeping downstairs on the couch because she doesn't want to sleep in the same bed anymore. I'm hearing her trashing me on the phone. Like I didn't even mention any of that in the video, you know. But I look pretty good in that video too. Sometimes, believe me, there's a lot of days where I don't like how I look. Um, I looked pretty good that day. Sunlight is the best light for me, honestly. I always like how I look in sunlight more than like this light in here. I look all like red in this light. I look nice in the sunlight. But anyway, man, that's a long story. That's what I was getting into, and it was just a lot. I'm always very honest with you. I don't think I've ever lied to you on here that I can think of. I try to be as honest as I can, you know. Um, and this was a hard situation to go through. I've really bared my soul, and you've seen like that was the whole conversation. I even told you the message I deleted that she went off on, and like I deleted it. I didn't think she'd see it, but I don't know how it works on TikTok. Maybe people can still see your messages. I felt like it was a mistake, but looking at it now, and she blocked me on everything now. She blocked me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, obviously. Like you could see on my phone, like that she blocked me on TikTok. If you needed that evidence, let's see. Like I'm totally blocked on there. I'll go to TikTok right now. Let me see. That's me and Jazzy, my baby. So I'll go to TikTok. You can see this is the it says account not found. That's the thumbs up emojis that you saw. Like she blocked me on there, which I mean, I kind of expected. She did block me before I think the message where I thanked her sent, so I think she was probably thinking like, "Oh man, he doesn't even care that I'm like wishing him well." You know, it's hard for me to wish her well. I don't wish like death on anyone. Obviously, I'm not even trying to say anything like that. I'm not. She doesn't deserve that, but I'm saying like that. I would never wish that on anyone. So even like my worst enemy, I'm not like wishing death on, and I don't consider her my worst enemy. I mean, she's irrelevant in my life at this point. She's just like a painful memory sometimes. Even now, it's not really painful. It's more just like I think I've gotten to the point where it's not painful anymore. It's more just like I just feel dumb. I'm just like, why did I waste my time? It was such a waste of time. But in the end, the one big takeaway is I learned exactly what I don't want, and I learned that I have to do better at picking. Like, you can't just take someone's word for it. Like, they insist they're not going to do you wrong, they insist they're not going to cheat. You can't just take their word for it. Like, people will just say stuff like that, you know. She love bombed, she did all the narcissistic tropes, you know, but I deserve better, and I'll find it, you know. I don't wish her bad, you know, I really don't. I really hope that she grows up because I still think she has a lot of growing to do. Still seems like she's blaming other people. She's still blaming me like I did something wrong. She's at least in a little better place where she like kind of knows she fucked up, but I think she knows deep down. I think it's more of a pride thing with her. Like she doesn't want to admit it. Just like she didn't want to admit that she followed me, which is just, oh, you found the unfollow button, right? So you knew you were following me at that point. I promise you, I did not follow her first. Like, I legitimately did. What I told her was the truth. I'm like, is this really her following me? I had to make sure. I wasn't sure. I was like, is this her or is this just somebody like that either looks like her? Because you can't really see on TikTok. It's like a tiny picture, you know. You can't. And her name was like user blank dot dot. You know, it was just a bunch of numbers. So yeah, man. That's we're probably never gonna talk again. I'm 100% fine with that. I don't think it's good. I don't think we were right for each other. Honestly, I don't think that she will be right for anyone until she like realizes her role in things and works on herself. Because I don't get the sense that she's really worked on herself at all. Like, I think she's gotten older, so she's gotten a little better at like kind of seeing where she could be wrong, but other than that, man, she's still doing the same shit. It's still my fault that she cheated and all that, and like she didn't even cheat, really. That's you saw what she was saying. It's like, yeah, I let him kiss me. Like, yeah, that's cheating. I don't know what to tell you, but I don't see how that's not cheating. Why were you even hanging out with another man, dating the other man and shit? You're sending him. She sent him videos of her like pouring like oil on her chest and shit. Like, she wasn't showing titties, but like that's a bit much, bro. That's how I knew that she slept with that guy because she sent him like a naked video on her Instagram. When I said I went through her messages, that's what I was talking about. So I saw that she had sent that guy a naked video, and I was like, that's fucking weird, you know, like days after we broke up. And sure enough, that was the story. But this would probably be the last time you ever hear me talk about her, you know. I don't really have anything to say. I think that conversation showed you exactly what type of person she is. She found that video funny. I don't know what was funny about that video. I don't even think she really found it funny. I think she was just trying to be insulting, but it didn't work. It just made you look more like a narcissist. So, what? I found that soul bearing video where you talked about the pain you went through funny. Like, I'm not making any jokes in the video. Nothing funny about that video, I don't think. She's just trying to find some way to like still get under my skin. It doesn't work, man. I see you for what you are. I'm probably one of the only people in the world that actually sees you for what you are. You got people fooled. A lot of people got a lot of people fooled, but I know the real you. I know the real versions of a lot of people that they keep hidden from the rest of the world, you know? I saw it. I saw you at your worst. I know what that is, you know? Nothing, no amount of talking can take that away. Like, I know what you are, Narcissia. That's it. I got some of your favorite segments left. And I do want to say, for the record, I wish you well, and more importantly, I wish your kid well. I hope that you have a great rest of your pregnancy. I hope your kid comes out happy and healthy, and I really hope you work on yourself and don't put your kid through the trauma that you went through. You didn't deserve it. Your kid doesn't deserve it. And I hope you can finally move past that in your life. Please, like, go to therapy, man. You refused to do it when we were together. Please do it. You went through a horrible experience of losing your mother at a young age. Please go to therapy. Please. Please. For your sake, for your family's sake, I really hope you do. And I promise you, I do wish you well. And I really wish your kid well. And I want the best for everyone. That's why I did it twice. All the time. I legitimately do. You know I have a big heart. You know me. Say like starting, so, and then it actually isn't starting. Peace, like in I'm watching love, man. Recorder. I'll get to those segments next. On time. Anyway, KCRO Sports. You know what time it is. So, what was the biggest news in sports? Well, for me, damn Lakers lost today. LeBron returned, so they dropped to 37 and 38. This season has been like the most whirlwind of a season I can remember as a Lakers fan. It's been a lot. Season has really been a lot as a Laker fan. I'm gonna look up the NBA standings to give you an accurate update on where the Lakers stand. I'm sure you care so deeply about this. The Lakers are now in ninth. but they are another 2 games behind the Warriors now. I forgot the Warriors won. So they're in ninth, so they're in the play-in. They're probably going to at least make the play-in. We're hoping for them to make sixth. Probably the best case scenario at this point. It's kind of a long shot, but you never know. Because they are 2 games out of sixth. So, yeah. But they're in ninth. They're half a game behind the Timberwolves, who are 37-37, and also the Pelicans, who are 37-37, but are in seventh. They probably have a tiebreaker over the Timberwolves or something, or something. If they got the same record, but they're ahead of them, it's got to be some type of tiebreaker. So yeah, it's basically where we're standing. Hopefully the Lakers can get there. LeBron returned though. Came off the bench for a second time in his career, is what I was reading, and he did okay. Like, it's good to have him back. I hope that he's like really healthy. It sucks that they lost because it's like came back earlier than we expected. So hopefully, it was weird though because on Friday he said there was no follow up, no reevaluation, and then he's back on Sunday. Kind of weird. So I don't know. He was mad that they said there was and all that. I don't know, but anyway, he's back now, so I guess that's what matters. Having LeBron on your team is interesting. I mean, one of the greatest players ever, right? But just a lot. It comes with a lot of BS. Not gonna lie, like that whole thing, him like calling out the reporters, and it's like you came back 2 days after that. Like, why'd you even say anything? I don't know. That's just me. I thought it was kind of silly. Like, you knew you were coming back. There clearly was some type of evaluation at some point recently. Whatever though. Whatever though, man. Hopefully they. I mean, obviously we're hoping for them to win the title. I think they got it. Maybe not as good of a shot as anyone, but they got a better shot than a lot of people, I'd say. Who in the West? I mean, Memphis is going to be tough. The Warriors you can never count out. Clippers have the Lakers' numbers, so. But they're. Paul George is probably going to be out for the rest of the regular season. So the Lakers might actually pass them. It's very possible. The Clippers are only a couple games ahead of them right now, so it's possible for the Clippers to fall more than the Lakers to ascend, which the Lakers would ascend by them falling, but yeah, so it could happen. They lost today. They lost their last game. I think it was today. I know. The days kind of blur together, but yeah, they lost that, so that happened. David Benavidez defeated Caleb Plant in the world of boxing by unanimous decision. According to the stats, he really beat him down in the second part of the fight. It ended up being he landed like double as many punches. According to CompuBox, I've heard from people that watched the fight closer that the CompuBox was like way off, and Plant really did better than they said. But I don't know. Like, either way, the right man won the fight, so I guess it doesn't matter in the end. Like, Plant was supposed to get destroyed from everything I heard people saying. Like, he was supposed to not be able to deal with the power of Benavidez. He dealt with it pretty well, honestly. He like got hurt later in the fight. But he never looked like seriously hurt. You could tell the punches took their toll, but he never looked like he got rocked. So that really makes me wonder how Benavidez would do against Canelo now. But you never know. I mean, styles make fights, and it was he probably fought a better Caleb Plant than Canelo did. I think Caleb Plant got caught up in the moment of that fight because that was his first big fight. So he really didn't have like the experience. He had like 20 fights, but some probably half of those not against that greater competition, and then maybe a couple of decent opponents in there, but nobody on the level of Canelo and nobody who fought in nearly that big of moments. So that's a adjustment for sure, and he lost it. He did well. He did better than I saw the. I was curious. So I looked up the cards. One of the cards was horrible. They gave like almost every round to Canelo, as usual. There's always like a shitty Canelo card, at least, if not all of them. Like, there's always at least one card. Like when he got the draw against Mayweather, like he lost almost every round of that fight, and they still gave him a draw. I think that judge is no longer judging, CJ Ross. Bad that if I remember your name, that's bad as a judge. Like, there's some that you're familiar with, Julie Letterman, Steve Weisfeld. Like, those are some boxing judges you see more often. Harold Letterman was like the unofficial scorer for a long time, so you know his name. But it's usually not good if you know a judge's name. Adelaide Bird is another one that I know, and I know she's had some bad cards. So um, Steve Moretti is another one. I'm a boxing nerd, or I'm not as much anymore. Used to be. I still got some of that nerd knowledge in my noggin. So yeah. But yeah, it wasn't too much else in the world of sports, so I'm gonna get into the Book of Grav. And now, let us read from the Book of Grav. Oh, perfect. Hey, I see the way it goes, so I don't deal with racist hoes. White girls on that Trumpy Trump. That bullshit is cumbersome. Hate on me because I'm from the slums. They vacillate from dumb to dumb. I see it as a challenge, though. I'm dealing with the phallus hoes. Shut the fuck up, baby cakes. Your crazy hate just made me great. I'm flexing on them phonetically. Coming in first, alphabetically. It's Z, the only letter they need to know. I'll give them that speedy glow. Shake you down to your knuckles. Shake you down to your knickers, my bad. Orgasms keep drowning the skipper. That's me. I'm the skipper, the captain of the ship. But no capping on this ship. I'm rapping on this bitch. Blapping on them quick. That was a little freestyle. There you go. I'm blowing through with buku bucks. Acting like you knew, you fucks. Don't make me bruise you up. You know how you do. You suck. I'm blowing through with buku bucks. Acting like you knew, you fucks. Don't make me bruise you up. You know how you do. You suck. Ooh, big grab. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. I got one last thing to show you because I realized there's something I didn't pay off. I'm sure you're wondering, like, what is this guy? What does he look like? This guy that this girl threw a good relationship over. She threw away a good relationship over this guy. What does he look like? It's only right that I show you. I'm not gonna name his name. I think I know. I know his name, so you can see. Take a look at my face here. Again, this is kind of a weird angle. That's why I like this one more. But you know what I look like. You saw me in that video. This isn't really the most flattering camera angle. Now here you go. This is the guy that I was basically left for. The glare on that screen, huh? Oh, paying this off for you. That's him. The thing that's kind of funny, you see this hairline? She was one of the things I know. She said she didn't care about me, like having, if I went bald. Like she did, but she didn't. She said she wasn't sure, you know, but that she liked me for me or whatever. Well, not to be mean, but I mean, it's kind of funny because her friends would always talk about me going bald and stuff. This dude's losing his hair. Like he's trying to hide it. Damn, it's hard to. I'm not trying to be. He was a dick to me, so that's the only reason why I felt comfortable doing this. You see that little like I don't know how well you can see it, but that little he pulled that like braid down at the top to make it look like he had more of a hairline, and the eyebrows are gone. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I mean, then you got this over here. My eyebrows are doing nicely, right? That's might be one of the pettiest things I've ever done. But yeah, that guy was a dick. He was like making fun of me in her messages and shit. And I'm like, bro, why are you don't fucking know me. Why are you making fun of me? You don't know anything about me other than what she says. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you know that she's doing some fucked up shit and you're over here like making fun of me. I was like, man, if he ever tried me, I could tell he's shorter than me. I've never met him, but just going off of that, I don't think he's very tall. He looks like he's like average height at the best. And I'm just like, I'm not fighting over her, but if you ever, like, if we ever run into each other and you disrespect me, I'll lay you the fuck out. You'll get knocked the fuck out. You don't even know. You get hit with like the rage of like years, you know? Just years of like, I can't, I would never hit her, but, you know, I would take that out on you. All the fucked up shit she did and the way you were an asshole to me, even though we've never met. And I think even you know I was a good guy to her. I don't know shit about you really other than you got kids and like I heard you arguing with her being an asshole and you know, I don't know too much about you, bro, but I'll lay you out. I've seen pictures of you. You ain't intimidating. So when you're making fun of me and acting like I'm a bitch or something, like you don't want that fucking problem. Trust me. I will fuck you up. I promise you that. You don't know who you're fucking with. And I'm not I don't at this age I don't want to fight anyone. It's just a warning in case it ever seems like a good idea. Like, oh, I'm gonna get my man to go after him. Like, nah, nah, don't do it. Trust me. I'm a trained fighter. I am one of the toughest people you'll come across. You don't want to play that game. I'm just warning you right now. It's not about that. It's not about her. It's about you feeling like you could disrespect me after already really like, you know, you got a girl that she's cheated on you. I know she's cheated on you. She'll cheat on anyone, bro. So it ain't a prize. And you know, I don't think it's gonna end well for you. Honestly, I really don't. I would bet money on it, like not ending well. Like that's gonna be a disastrous situation. It's probably gonna be all your fault in her head, and you know. But whatever, man. I'm chilling. I, in a weird way, I got clarity. I got like a bit of relief from all that, you know. It was like I felt weird when she followed me, and I'm kind of glad that she's not anymore because it was just weird. I just didn't understand the motive. It just seemed like it was like to try to get under my skin or something, and I wasn't allowing it to, but I just felt weird about it. I was like, what? Why? Like, why now? I think that she still has feelings, to be honest, if I had to guess. Maybe she's losing them now after this blow up. But I think she does wonder, like, how would my life have been if I didn't pick like this loser, you know? Picked a dude with like all these kids and like none of it made any sense, man. Yeah. I remember when one of the dumbest things that she tried when we broke up is she told me that she was almost like trying to imply that like he was bigger, but then she was saying sex with him didn't hurt, and that just doesn't make any sense, like logically. You know, it doesn't. It doesn't make like she messed up when she first told me about it, and like it was like she first told me that because you know she would say sex with me hurt. That was one of the problems. I didn't want to get into that. I wasn't like gonna bring that up with her because that's just weird. You know, that was one of her criticisms. We could have worked on that. She didn't make that really known that it was a problem. Like I knew it hurt. Like you know, there's always like an element. Like you girls always ask us to go deeper, then we go too deep, and you don't like that. So it's like you got to vocalize that. You got to tell me. You know, I can't tell you how many messages that girl sent me praising my dick over the years, only for her to like try to turn around and be like, you know, she never said anything, but all she ever said was like she didn't understand why it hurt with me, almost like implying like that he was bigger, but it was just silly. It's like it's not how that works, sweetheart. Like you're just silly at that point. I haven't said it a lot on here. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I know the size of my dick. I measured the size of my dick. I know that it's bigger than like 99% of the dicks out there. So there's like almost no chance, right? I don't even care anyway. But it's just like she's a narcissist and she never wants to admit being wrong. She never wants to take accountability and she never want her current man has to be the best because she can't have taken a slide back. You know what I mean? Even though there's no category where that guy's better than me. So it's just silly, you know. It's just it makes me laugh because she'll try that and she'll say all that and like try to diminish me, and it's like I see through you, girl. I know who you are. I see through you. You can't send me thousands of messages praising my dick and just you're just horny all the time. You want to have sex all the time, and then after the fact be like, oh, it hurt too much, like which it did. I know it did like a lot of times, but it's like you did like it in the moment. It hurt like yeah after the fact or even during, but you know like you liked it. You were the one asking for it. You were the one initiating it. You wanted it. I like never initiated it. I mean, not that I didn't want to do it. I did. You know, I enjoyed it with you. I admit that. I can admit that. And you know you enjoyed it with me too. You admit that. So it's just silly. It's like why do girls try to do that in the end? Like try to diminish you. It's like I'm really not trying to diminish you. All I say is that like I overlooked your flaws because I wanted to believe you were the best version of yourself, and that didn't end up being true. But I'm not sitting here like, oh yeah, the girl I slept with after you had better pussy. I'm not like trying to tell you that. I don't. She never actually said that anyway. I think the most she ever said was that she liked the sex with him. She never like said it was better. She never said he was bigger. She just would like try to make these weird insinuations and just like it never made any sense. It's like, bro, you know that I know about my own dick, so you can't lie about it. It's like that's the thing that's hilarious that some girls are trying to do. It's like that might work with the other guys who don't have knowledge of self and who don't know science, but it ain't working on me, girl. One girl, she would always scream like, "Give me that big white dick, give me that big white dick." And then like when we stopped seeing each other, she was like downplaying it like it's a good size. And like I remember the one time she said that she was trying to say there was one time where she admitted it was over 8 inches, right? We didn't get into the specifics. It was over 8 inches. I'm not, and I know this is TMI. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but she said that, right? I'm not. I don't like to say my specific size. I'm not going to tell you. It could be 8.1 inches for all you know. Maybe it's like just over eight. Doesn't really matter. You're not going to know. You know, or maybe you will if it's a woman listening to this who I'm interested in. But then later on, like she tried to say it was 5, and I was like, it's not even 5 on soft. Like, please stop. Like, you're being ridiculous. Like, you know that's not true. Like, she said it was average, and then I said, so you're saying it's like 5? I was like, come on, bro. Like, you said, just like, and like, you're not gonna do that every time. You're not gonna be telling me it's going too deep. It's just silly, man. Like, why do they do that stuff? Why? So I'm supposed to believe that you were just acting this entire time like when you were crying or saying it was going too deep and shit. Like I'm supposed to believe that that was all just an act. Like for what purpose? What purpose does that serve? Because I told you every time, like I don't want to hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt you. So it's just silly. It's like why are you like trying to come back and be like, oh, it hurt to or like it actually they never said like that it didn't hurt. That's the weird thing is like you can't say it didn't hurt and then try to downplay it at the same time. It's just silly, bro. None of them ever say small though. That's the worst. They every once in a while some girl will try to act like average and it's just like, no man, you know that ain't true. And they never do it off the bat. It's always like later on where they're like trying to say that and it's like I know I have knowledge of self, bro. Like even if you somehow thought it was under 8, which I don't know how you would think that, like even if you somehow thought that, barely anyone even has 7. So you cannot tell me in any universe that it's under 7. Like that's just wild, and you really need to get your eyes checked. So that's just silly. I know some people listening to this may be surprised, but that's actually rare. It's actually more rare than you think. And for anyone to ever act like 8 is average is just they're absolutely tripping, and they probably have talked to guys that lie that'll be like 6 and say they're 8. It's like, no, that fool ain't 8, bro. That's the funny thing. Like, even this one girl, she didn't know sizes. She came across a 6-inch dildo. She thought that was big because she never been with that. Because like that's a little bit above average. And like if you are used to smaller than that, it is gonna seem bigger to you. So it's just silly, man. But anyway, I wanted to end it on a more lighthearted note with that. I find that so funny. Like just the lying for no reason. It's like it's not even relevant, man. I'm too damn confident. You can't try to tell me some shit like that because I'm not gonna believe you. And I know. I've even measured it in front of girls to be like, look. Anyway, much peace, much love. I'm sorry for the emotional nature of this episode. It's probably really interesting to some people, and I think it was amusing, but these are draining. This is a draining ass episode, and I gotta cut it off. I'll see you next week. Peace, love, life in zero gravity forever.